All right, thanks, guys. Coming off another great win in our Patreon picks. We also went 13, 13, and 1 in Major League Baseball in our leans right here on YouTube. And even split in the NBA, 1 and 1 there. But once again, Patreon just doing absolutely outstanding. Another 1 and 0 day on Saturday. Patreon.com/Brock Page. Now let's go ahead and get into some Sunday action, beginning with Milwaukee taking on the Raptors. And that's going to be a 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off in Toronto. The Raptors open the betting as the 3-point favorite with the total at 220.5. And since those markets opened this one up, we're actually seeing a steady and consistent fade of the Raptors when it comes to the spread, down to 2.5. We're also seeing movement downward on the total, down to 219 and a hook. So once again, Toronto opened -3 down to -2.5. Total open 220.5 down to 219 and a hook. 57% of the consensus is leaning toward Milwaukee. 56% of the consensus is shaded toward the under. Right now, the Bucks are plus 120 on the money line. They do lead this series 2-0. Now, if you like Milwaukee in this spot here, really can't blame you. They're 10-1 straight up in their last 11. They've also successfully covered the number in 10 out of those 11 ball games. They're also 6-0 against the spread in their last 6 on the road. Now, when it comes to this Milwaukee squad, they are first in scoring, first in offensive rebounding, and first in defensive field goal percentage. Their opponents are shooting just 42% from the field. One more thing to add about Milwaukee. They're 5-1 against the number, taking on Toronto this year. They're also covering 89% of their games as the road underdog, and they're covering 86% of their games that tipped off at the current point spread. Now, on the other side, completely different story. Like I said, Toronto just 1-5 against the number, taking on Milwaukee this year. They're also covering just 39% of their games, taking on teams over 550. And they've only successfulully covered the number in 6 out of 16 games that tipped off at the current point spread. One more thing to add about Toronto. They're 22nd in offensive rebounding and 18th in home defensive rebounding. When it comes to the total, Milwaukee is 12-6 of the over in their last 18. I'm going to purchase the half a point, buy it up, and take Milwaukee +3 in the over 219.5 in that matchup there. And before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick timeout and welcome you to the show. Got some lines and personal leans out for Sunday's NBA, NHL, and Major League Baseball action. But before we get into that, just want to quickly remind you to check me out at patreon.com/Brock Page, where we are doing very, very well in our daily best play. There's plenty of free content there as well, but mainly that site is for daily picks, daily plays, personal plays. So we have a bunch of different tiers, bunch of different memberships, and they begin at $1.99 per month. Link for that website is in the description section below, patreon.com/Brock Page. All right, let's go ahead and get into some more lines of personal leans. Just kidding. We got some shout outs to get to. Some guys that have been very active in our NBA videos. So let's go ahead and get into it. Mr. Keefe, Sauce Sensei Master Drip Lord. Got to say what's up to Jay Williams, the Ding Man, C. Dinger, Terrence Terry Warren, Worthy OM 311, Heath Swiss Cake Roll, Zeus 00, Mike Jones, and last but certainly not least, Jerome Jerry Watkins. All right, let's go ahead and get into some NHL picks, and that is going to be St. Louis taking on San Jose, Western Conference Finals, 3 o'clock Eastern puck drop in San Jose. The Sharks open $1.40, total 5.5. We're seeing a nickel fade of the Sharks down to 135. Once again, San Jose open $1.40, down to -135. Totals at 5.5. 65% of the consensus is leaning towards San Jose. 64% shaded toward the over. Right now, the Blues are +120 on the money line. Sharks +215 on the puck line. We have Binnington for the Blues, Jones for the Sharks. This series is all tied up at 2 games apiece.